For just under 10 minutes of your time, I'm going to show you how I made this mask from Season 3 of I Can See the Future. You live to make one of these for yourself, but before you do, you're going to want to watch till the end because I have plenty of tips as well as what mistakes to avoid from printing, fitting, and of course the entire process of making the lenses. This mask is a paid file which can be found on the Wireframe 3D website. Links to this file and all materials used will be in the description. If you're worried about the scaling and fit of this mask, I promise you, you have nothing to worry about. The mask has a vertical splice in the back, that way it can be adjusted to fit a wide variety of head sizes. Using Sunlu's blue PLA+, the mask was printed upside down as a way to save material and minimize supports. In order to adjust the fit of the mask, I used a pencil to score a line as a reference for how tight the mask should be when wearing it. Using hot glue, I installed strips of elastic band inside the mask, that way it can be loosened when putting it on or taking it off. As for the lenses, there are two printable files that are included, a mesh version of the lenses and a lens buck for vacuum forming. I decided to resin print all of these parts. Don't worry, if you don't own or intend to own a resin printer, it is still possible to make these using an FDM printer, but more on that later on. I haven't yet shown you guys my resin printing workflow or setup, so I figured now is the perfect time to do so. Once all of the parts were printed, I placed my build plate at a 45-degree angle and left it there for several hours. That way all of the residual resin can drip off back into the resin vat, which saves resin, money, and greatly reduces the amount of cleanup that needs to be done afterwards. After washing the prints in IPA, I use a heat gun to soften the supports, that way the model won't be damaged when the supports are removed. The last step before they can be handled safely is to cure them with UV light. If you plan to vacuum form the lenses for this build, then it's extremely important that the buck is as smooth as possible. Resin sands very easily, so this process didn't take long at all. I did have a few imperfections on the surface that needed to be filled, so I used a foam brush and applied resin onto the surface to fill them. Earlier, I mentioned that it is possible to make a lens buck that can be vacuum formed even if you don't own a resin printer. If made using an FDM printer, I would recommend buying a bottle of UV resin and use that to smooth the surface the same way I showed before. You don't even need to buy a UV light or cure station, you can simply just place them outside and let the natural UV from the sun cure the resin before sanding. Just be sure to wear a respirator and gloves anytime you're dealing with resin, and if possible, try to work in a well-ventilated area. The reason why I recommend resin instead of the filler primer I would normally use to smooth prints is due to the heat involved during the vacuum forming process. Using those products will work, but only for a few uses as the heat will start to deform the mold and the filler products used. It's very uncommon for me to not paint something like this. However, since Invincible is an animated series, printing the mask in blue filament seemed appropriate, so I made an exception. The only thing that needed to be painted were these black seams on the mask. I also went ahead and painted the lens mesh black using an airbrush. In truth, it doesn't really matter whether or not these were painted. The vacuum formed lenses are tinted and will rest on top of the mesh, so you won't be able to see through it anyways. But because of principle, aka OCD, I still painted them anyways. If you decide you don't want to vacuum form, then you would be done at this step, but I'm going to go a step further and explain in the easiest way possible how to vacuum form, as well as an alternative method in case you still aren't sold. This is my third consecutive video talking about vacuum forming and the lens dyeing process. So I'm just going to briefly go over the most important information this time around. If you want a more in-depth explanation on the process, then I would recommend checking out my Darth Vader helmet video or my Superior Spider-Man mask video for more information. I'm using a 5" by 5" all-in-one vacuum forming machine that I purchased off Amazon for around $120. And I'm using sheets of PETG that are 0.03 inches thick. To start, I removed the protective film from both sides of the plastic, making sure that both sides are free of any debris, which is easier said than done. PETG heats very quickly. After inserting the sheet into the machine, expect it to start deforming anywhere from a minute to a minute and a half. Don't let the plastic deform too much, as it could start to bubble or tear. On the other hand, if it doesn't deform and droop enough, then it won't properly adhere to the shape of the mold. Once the plastic is ready to be pulled, I turn off the heat element and insert the lens buck onto the machine, once again making sure the buck is free of any debris. I then pull the plastic onto the buck, turning on the vacuum to remove the air. From there, I just use a pair of scissors to carefully cut out the shape of the lens. As mentioned earlier, if you're still not sold on purchasing a vacuum forming machine, but still want lenses that look similar to the ones I made, an alternative method does exist. You could use the same sheets of PETG I used, and use a heat gun to manually deform the plastic, then pressing it onto the buck. However, I will warn you that this method may prove to be challenging as there's far more variables to consider, but it is possible. Now that we have the lenses vacuum formed, the next step is to dye them black. As you can see, I made an extra set of lenses just in case I made a mistake during this step, something I would highly recommend you do as well. The product I'm using is iDye Poly. It's important that you use this specific version of the product, as it's meant to be used on plastics. The instructions for this product are very simple to follow. You'll start by adding the dye to a pot of boiling water, being sure to stir it well. Just a warning, this stuff is extremely messy and smells awful. Unless your entire kitchen is painted black, I would not recommend doing this in your kitchen. When boiling the dye, the steam that rises from the pot will have dye particles inside of it, which will stain anything in its path, turning it black. Ask me how I know. I purchased a tabletop cast iron burner on Amazon for around $15. That way I can do this in my workshop and not worry about the mess that it leaves. It's very important that you let the water temperature cool down to around 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not try and add plastic into the dye at boiling temperatures. The plastic will start to deform. Once the water cools down, the safest way I've found to dye the lenses is to wear gloves and soak them in the dye for a few seconds at a time, then immediately soaking them in a separate bowl of cold water to shock them. You'll be repeating this process over and over until the lenses are dark enough. Be very careful not to drop the lenses into the pot of dye. If they fall to the bottom, they'll be covered in chunks of dye and will be permanently ruined. I made a mistake this time around that I want you to be aware of. Be careful not to pinch or apply too much pressure to the lenses while in the dye. I accidentally did this while soaking them and realized that the lenses were being slightly misshaped. Luckily, they were only slightly deformed and I was able to fix them. As mentioned earlier, the vacuum-formed lenses rest on top of the mesh versions. So pressing the two of them together reshaped the lens to its proper shape. At the time of recording this, I'm trying to think of better ways to dye the lenses that don't involve me soaking them by hand, something where I won't have to worry about the lenses falling to the bottom of the pot. If you guys have any ideas of what items or tools I can use to suspend the lenses into the dye hands-free, I could really use some inspiration and would really appreciate some ideas in the comments. For now, my wacky way of doing things works just fine, and the lenses came out pretty good. After letting them air dry, I cleaned them using plastics cleaner, which I applied using a microfiber towel. The only thing left to do is finish installing the lenses. I used small amounts of super glue with an instant spray activator to secure the newly tinted lenses onto the mesh frame. I then used hot glue to install the entire lens onto the mask. This was a really fun project to take on. Because almost everything I make requires countless hours of sanding, followed by often rigorous paint jobs, making something like this that requires basically no sanding and paint work was a really nice breath of fresh air. A lot's changed since my last upload. You may have noticed in this video that I have a new workspace. I recently built a new workbench, and this was the first project I made with that new setup. Lastly, I wanted to say thank you to those of you watching. When I was editing my last video, I didn't even have 100 subscribers, and now at the time of recording this video, this channel is just under 500 subscribers. The support and viewership that you guys have been showing means the world to me and is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys the future projects I have lined up. And who knows, maybe one day I'll make another mask from